The unboxing you all have been waiting for. Today we'll be unboxing the iPhone 13 and 13 mini for a quick hands-on look. Within Apple's current lineup, the 13 and 13 mini are basically the same phone, with of course the obvious difference being the different sizes. Before we start, I do want to remind everyone that there is about 2 weeks left for my band giveaway for the Series 7. The link to the playlist will be in the description. Every video will be a new opportunity for a new entry so that you will have more opportunities to potentially snag any new band that you like. And while on the topic of likes, don't forget to destroy the like button so we can get this video out to more Apple lovers' eyes. For now though, let's roll that intro and get into a quick unboxing as well as a rundown of everything that's new. Alrighty, let's do this. So, you clicked on this video because you want to see if you should buy the new iPhone 13 or perhaps maybe upgrade from an older iPhone. Don't worry, today we're going to go over everything that's new plus an unboxing, but in a future video, I'm going to compare it head to head to the iPhone 12 line and look at a more detailed comparison between the two for those wondering if this would be a good upgrade or not. I'm talking camera comparisons, benchmarks, battery health. Okay, with that being out of the way though, let's head over to our unboxing. So, we see our two white Apple boxes containing both our new iPhone 13 mini and the regular iPhone 13, with an image of the back of the device and color-matched Apple branding. Apple is known for always creating an experience out of each unboxing, and it's small touches like this that make all the difference. The two unboxings are exactly identical, just of course small differences to accommodate the different sizes. So let's open up the mini first, and I got my 13 mini in the cool starlight color, but you can also pick it up in your choice of pink, blue, midnight, and product red. It was announced at Apple's September event that the iPhone will no longer be shipped with the plastic wrapping to help with the environment, and redesign these tamper-proof pull tabs located on the top and bottom. So let's pull both of those, lift open the lid, and we are first greeted with the beautiful new 13 mini in this gorgeous and pristine starlight color that looks amazing. We'll set that off to the side for now as we dig deeper and find our literature packet, complete with a quick start guide, warranty and information guide, a SIM ejection tool, and one small Apple sticker. Right below that is our USB-C to Lightning cable used to charge and sync our device. Noticeably absent is our 20-watt wall charger, but this is now the second year in a row since the removal of the wall adapter, which is tragic and a huge low blow. Apple claims it was done in the name of helping the environment, but I don't know, sounds like a sleazy way to nickel and dime us. Anyway, we head back to the star of the show, having this white plastic film on the front to protect the front glass during shipment. Press and hold the power button for a couple of seconds and this sucker is ready to be set up. So, what's new? There were some memes circulating on Twitter that Apple, the finesse gods, are at it again. There were jokes that the only difference is that the camera module is now diagonal, but hold on, I promise there's a lot more. Externally, this looks eerily similar to last year's model with just a few modifications. I really love the more squarer design, and I love the aluminum band that runs around the perimeter of the iPhone. It looks really fresh as well on the iPhone 13 in pink. On the topic of the aluminum, all four sides remain unchanged. On the bottom is our lightning connector with speaker holes flanking both sides. On the right hand side is our power button, as well as this color matched pill shaped window that is used to help with your 5G signal. On top is just a singular color matched antenna band, and on the left is still our familiar vibrate on off switch, our two metallic power buttons, and towards the bottom, our SIM card tray. On the back, as I mentioned, is where we start to see some changes. We still have our dual 12 megapixel camera system with a wide and ultra wide lens that are now in a different formation. I don't know exactly the significance of the placement, but I assume having them diagonally helps somehow. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments below, please. The camera sensors are larger, and as a result, the entire square camera bump is also larger. So key point to keep in mind, despite the larger sensors, the wide lens is still an f1.6 aperture lens, and the ultra wide is still a 2.4 aperture. Still both 12 megapixels. Digital zoom still remains the same with a maximum 5 times zoom, but the new wide camera captures 47% more light, which will prove to be extremely useful when in situations with little lighting. Again, in the head-to-head comparison video later on, I'll also be taking photographs comparing the 12 versus the 13 so you guys can make a better, more informed decision, because I know a ton of people who love the iPhone because of the camera. Apple's cameras have gotten so good over the years, they low-key are starting to rival bigger DSLRs or even some mirrorless cameras. And we also now see new sensor shift optical image stabilization that keep shots steady even when filming conditions are less than ideal to help alleviate unwanted shaking, makes videos appear a lot smoother. Software-wise, the 13 and 13 mini debuted with iOS 15 and with a new cinematic filming mode. Apple mentioned that filmmakers often use a technique that shifts focus from one subject to another called rack focus. Now with these all new sensors, videos look better than ever before on iPhone. I just wonder at what point photographers will start showing up to weddings with iPhones instead of DSLRs, because man, I'm telling you, I own a mirrorless Sony a7 III and I find myself enjoying the crisper look and feel of the iPhone camera at times. Cinematic mode automatically creates awesome depth effects and focus transitions even in low lighting. It's kind of like portrait mode for selfies except now on video, and best yet, you can always edit the depth effect later in post-production straight on your iPhone. There is also the new Photographic Styles, a new feature to make your photography and videos pop even more. Photographic Styles creates a personal look for your photos. Now you may be wondering, but Juan, isn't this just like putting a filter on my camera? Well, not exactly. Instead, Photographic Styles selectively applies adjustments to the right areas while preserving skin tones. So for instance, using the warm setting, it may make the background warmer, but not so much your skin. And that's so that you don't end up looking like a Cheeto or look artificial. Just choose whatever style suits your vibe the most, and every time you snap a shot, it'll have that effect and you can always change it as you please. It's not like you're locked into that one forever. Our front camera is also unchanged and has all the mentioned features as the back camera, like cinematic mode and Photographic Styles, as well as more. I just don't have enough time to cover everything, like the new smart HDR4 system, better night mode selfies, Dolby Vision HDR recording, and much more. Now, looking at the iPhone from the front, if you missed the Apple event or have been living under a rock, you might notice something different about the iPhone 13. Notice it yet? I'm talking about the notch. We finally see a shrunken down notch that's not a massive difference, but every millimeter smaller makes all the difference. It's way more noticeable on the 13 mini, as the 12 mini, in comparison to the larger phones, suffered the most from the previous bigger notch, as we can see here when comparing the 13 mini and the 12 mini. Because there's less screen real estate, the notch took up a bigger portion of the phone as compared to something like the 13 Pro Max. Before, on the 12 mini, there was barely any room for the time and battery indicator over on those tiny corners. But now that the notch is smaller, the iPhone is starting to look a little more modern. The notch had remained unchanged since the iPhone 10 got released, which was more than 4 years ago, I think. The front glass is still our improved ceramic shield front and uses aerospace grade aluminum for the sides of the device. The 13 mini still boasts the same 5.4-inch Super Retina XDR display, while the regular 13 sports a larger 6.1-inch XDR display. And lastly, our last major change relates to the internal components under the hood, namely our chipset now being upgraded to the all-new A15 Bionic chip with a new 6-core CPU with 2 performance and 4 efficiency cores. And it's interesting to mention that Apple claims this new chip to be 50% faster CPU-wise versus the competition and up to 30% faster in graphics. I say this is odd because they normally use their statistics to compare versus the previous models, which would be the A14 Bionic found on the 12 line, so I wonder how much faster the A15 is versus the A14. You definitely know we'll have to test that out later on, but also important to note is that the 13 and 13 Pro technically do not have the same chipset. The only difference is that on the 13 Pro line, you have a new 5-core GPU instead of the 4-core found on the 13 mini and regular 13. There are also other noteworthy small improvements, such as the base storage being doubled, now starting at 128 gigabytes versus 64 gigabytes. This in itself is massive. I'm glad Apple did this, as with each passing year, 64 gigabytes was starting to sound like how 16 gigabytes of storage sounded like 4 years ago. It just wasn't enough. Pricing wise, the 13 mini starts at $699 and the regular 13 at $799. $99 and can be configured up to 512 gigabytes. The max brightness on the 13 line also went up to 800 nits of sustained brightness, which is fantastic and super useful while outdoors for those pesky scenarios where there's a lot of glare. Oh yeah, battery life. This is a big one too. Across the entire 13 line, we see an improvement to battery life. This is due to a combination of chipset improvements to battery efficiency and a bigger physical battery, which results in an increase of about an extra hour and a half of juice on the 13 mini and 2.5 more hours on the 13. Oh, don't worry. You better believe a battery drain test is coming soon, as we just don't take Apple's claims at face value. On this channel, we go deep into testing to find out how these claims hold up, so I'm really excited to get that battery test started soon. And really, that's about all the new features, folks. So to recap, larger sensors that leads to better photographs, plus software improvements with features such as cinematic mode and photographic styles. New A15 Bionic chip that sets to crush the rest of the competition and remains as one of the fastest chipsets currently on the market. We see a small reduction to the notch, new color choices, new base storage that is now doubled, and improvements to battery life. Kinda lackluster though, huh? I thought the same thing. This looks and feels just like your standard S upgrade with little innovation. The 13 Pro line arguably got a better upgrade, but no worries. In a later video, we're going to do a head-to-head comparison with the previous generation so you guys have a better idea of the performance improvements, camera improvements, and make sure not to miss that juicy battery drain test. Guys, I want to know what you guys think. For me, this is a little underwhelming. If anything, to me at least, the most enticing feature is that we now feature double the storage as before, and I guess the increased battery life is always a welcome addition. Everything else seems like a small incremental upgrade that may not be worth it to many people. In any case, let me know in the comments below. I know a lot of y'all were asking for this one, but keep your eyes peeled for more iPhone 13 content, and with that, I'm clocking out for now, but I'll be catching you all in the next video.